So, before we start, I want to create some small competition between two sides, the A side and the B side. Here we have the invisible line. So when I say NG, you should answer India, okay? And we see which one is better. We start with A, okay? NG? India! NG? India! NG?
India!
India? Okay. It was quite good. NG?
India!
NG?
India!
NG?
India!
7N? Okay. It was similar. So now together, everybody get up, get up. Yeah. And together. NG?
India!
NG?
India!
NG?
India!
NG?
India!
Okay, now we can start. So, it looks nice, by the way. So I can start with, welcome to Angular Church. Okay? Thank you for being here. So, it's Saturday. It's cold outside. There are always some excuses to not come. So I am really grateful that you are devote your time to learn Angular, and in my case also NativeScript. That means you are special because you understand that the world now is changing faster than ever before. And you understand that we should learn all the time. So, who am I? I'm a big fan of Angular and NativeScript. I was for many years a .NET developer. About 7 years ago, I switched to Angular, 100%. I wrote a book about Angular, this one, sorry, this one. And I create several video courses. And about 7 months ago, I started to play with NativeScript. And that's why I am here. And I want to share my experience with NativeScript with you. Okay, make sense? Okay, super. So I'm the organizer of two large international conferences in Poland, NG Poland and JS Poland. NG Poland is, of course, all about Angular, and JS Poland is about is focused on the JavaScript environment. And I work for 7N as a developer advocate. So 7N is sponsored today also. Yeah. And okay, so wherever I stand on the stage, I will recommend some book that inspired me somehow. And by the way, this book, Nucleon, was written by the founder of 7N, Jeppe Heda. And this book is for everyone who believes that performance is important. Who believe that performance is important at work? These three guys was first. I have 3 books for you. Yeah? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Okay. How many of you have cell phone? Okay, few people. How many of you use mobile apps? Don't be shy. Okay. More people use mobile apps than have a phone, yeah? That's great. So my dream was always to start to creating some mobile apps. And but I was first I was a .NET developer, and yeah, for the last 6-7 years I was an Angular developer. So I realized, okay, so I should learn now Java, and I should learn Swift. So maybe it's not hard to do, but learning the whole environment for this both platform is too much for me. So I start to search for another solution. And because I love Angular, so obvious for me, was to start with a native script. And what is NativeScript? NativeScript is basically an open source framework for building truly native apps. I mean truly. So we have 100% access to the mobile API, and we have amazing performance. And we just write once and create application for two totally different platform. Yeah. So this is not a phone gap. Yes, I know that we heard that kind of talk on the market many times, but this is not a phone gap. As I said, we have real components. It's not done to manipulate. No HTML, and this is no Xamarin also. No cross compilation, and no .NET. So when we compare NativeScript to Ionic, so NativeScript is a native application, while Ionic is an application that runs in a browser. So that's why NativeScript does not have the limitation of Apple app launched through a browser. Yeah, makes sense? So if we talk about architecture, we have a few options. We can use Angular. I love Angular. Who loves Angular? Yeah, that's good. We can use also TypeScript, pure TypeScript, or pure JavaScript and NativeScript, or Vue. So it's a few different options. And of course, I highly recommend to use Angular because it's very simple to start, create native apps. And I will show you at the end of this presentation. And when we imagine that NativeScript and Angular logo getting together, the baby look like this, yeah? Yeah, this is the baby. What's new in NativeScript? So a few months ago, they released a possibility to have a code sharing project. What does it mean? It means that I can have one code base, and from this code base, I can generate a web app or mobile apps. And I can share some of my files in this code base between these two totally different platforms. Totally different something. Okay, so in case of NativeScript, that means usually that we can share the routes for navigation, some services for common basic logics, or some component classes different for common behavior or for component. And of course, we can do that. We don't have to do that. We can have one code base. Yeah? It's up to us. So in this example shows us basket service component and payment service component is the same, but the file with web UI and mobile UI are different. Okay, and the difference you can see here, the red one is for the web, is just basket.component.html, and for the mobile we have basket.component.tns.html. But this is not HTML, this is XML. Yeah, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So, of course, we cannot reuse the entire code base, and we should create separate UI for web and separate UI for native mobile apps, because the web UI is different from mobile UI, and the different rules control them. Yeah. So if you want to create a project with code sharing, code base sharing. So we can use this this green line of code, but we should have the latest version of Angular CLI and the latest version of NativeScript schematics. And when we do that, we can just run, for example, iOS app using TNS run iOS -- bundle or TNS run Android -- bundle. Or we can use ngserve and we will run a well-known Angular app. Yeah, okay, in one code base. It's pretty cool. Not for everybody, I think, but if you have some not too complicated application, yeah, it's really cool. And we can migrate our projects. So if we have some web project, we can add NativeScript to this project, and of course, we're using to this the schematics. Okay, it's important to understand the code splitting in context of Angular component. This is most common situation, most common scenario. So we have name.component.ts is for web, and web and NativeScript shared file. Yeah? So we can reuse this component in both situations. And we have name.component.html for the web, name component.tns.html for a mobile, and we have name component.css for a web, and tns.css for a mobile, because we should have separate CSS. We can't reuse the CSS, yeah? Also. Boring? Boring? Okay. Yes. It's too late for these two slides. Back to NativeScript. We have ability to create elements for both platforms. So we just write once. For example, this is a switch, and NativeScript take care to reproduce this as a native switch for Android and native switch for iOS. The same situation is on the module files. So in this example, you see the reference to a file. As you can see, the code in Java is very different from the code in Swift. But we just use only TypeScript and we write once. Yeah? Pretty cool. Styles are mostly supported. And sometimes we will have to write separate style for iOS and Android, but the styles are very similar to the we use for web, so it's pretty easy. You can find more information about the styles on nativescript.scores. And creating a style for NativeScript element is the same exactly like for HTML. So we have here, for example, the stack layout style, okay? And NativeScript offers us some ready-to-made solution. And we can use this following screen layouts. For example, absolute, dog, grid, stack, or wrap layouts to create our application. Most common is probably the stack layout. And the stack layout can look like this. So this is the template for mobile. And this template, of course, is not HTML, but is very similar to HTML. And for example, we can use this, sorry, here I see, banana in the box. The same like in our web application. If we talk about images, we have 3 different ways to add graphics to our application, from local file system, from application resources, or from just URL. And if we are talking about application resources, we have multiple graphic size served from each platform, and NativeScript make the choice which one to use. And in case we want to add graphic from the resources, we can use this page, NativeScript Image Builder, to generate graphics of different size for both platforms. So we are just upload some graphic, and we then download the zip with all the graphic needs for the resources. The NativeScript component is almost the same like Angular component, and of course the difference is only in the template. In the template, as I said, we use NativeScript XML markup. But the syntax is similar, not the same, but very similar. Okay, one of the biggest benefits of using NativeScript is a fast development workflow. And you have ability to change your code and see the changes instantly, even on multiple devices. So I want to show you now how it works, and we use NativeScript Playground. NativeScript Playground is a browser-based environment for developing simple NativeScript apps. And it's a great place to get started learning NativeScript. You can develop app without needing to install the various SDK or for the iOS or for Android development, yeah? So all you need to complete this guide is iOS on Android device. How many of you have Android device? Okay, and iOS? Okay. So, you wanna play with me? Yeah! You wanna play with me? Yeah! Okay, so please install these two small apps on your mobile phone, NativeScript Playground and NativeScript Preview. Very small. Who is first? I have a t-shirt for him. Who is done? You are done?
I have already installed. I have already installed.
You, and you. Okay. So for you, maybe this. For you. Ah! Sorry. It was not me. Okay. Okay, so please install these two very small app, and then we start to play. Okay, NativeScript Playground and NativeScript Preview. By the way, it is my first time here, and I'm so excited. It's so many. I feel your energy, especially on the street, and yesterday in the bar. It was crazy, yeah. I slept 2 hours only, but yeah, I like it. So, you are ready? Yeah? Okay. I just need some Angular juice to continue. Okay, so when you go to a site like NativeScript.org, but play.nativescript.org, you will see this beautiful playground. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. The internet connection is good, I think, but doesn't work. But I have opened few. Okay. Yeah, we can start here. So, why doesn't it work? By the way, I'm not from Microsoft. They have always on conferences some problems. So I don't understand why the internet doesn't work now. Yeah, but I will try it hard. Okay, yeah, we can start in this one. So this is the playground. And you see here we have the files like component HTML with these XML markups, and the component TS with some TypeScript logic. And now, when I click this QR code, scan this QR code, we can use our playground app, this one, to scan this code, okay? It's no internet connection. Maybe I should go somewhere. Trying to find the internet connection. No. Doesn't work. Okay, but you can do that. Did you see the app or not? Without internet connection, it's really hard to figure out it. Where is DJ? DJ, can you help me with the internet connection? iPhone? Which one? The first one. We can scan this code. We can use as much devices as we have or we can. And all these devices work in the same time. So we can see our app on 3 or 4 devices in the same time. When I change something in a code, immediately it is updated on all of these devices. So it's amazing. And I want to show you just this. If I have the internet connection. Yeah, it works. So one more time. Okay, it works. Okay, please scan this code one more time. It works? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Do it. And can I close the pop-up? No? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just a button. This is one button, okay? Very simple app. It's a one button. Yeah, but it shows how it works. So when I close it and I click this device tab, we see all connected devices, okay? And when I click this device lock tab, we see that every time some of you click the button, we have this in the log here. And if I do something like this, and I click save, it's ta-da! It's nothing on the screen, yeah? And I can, of course, play with all these elements. It's a lot of ready-to-use elements. So it's really good to start to figure out how this element works with each other. And the last one, for example, if I want to add some fancy feature to my app, like accelerometer, I just can do it like this. I am a lazy developer, so I use drag and drop. And just save. And you should see another button. When you click the button, the accelerometer works, yeah? So it shows us that we have a very easy access to the native API of every device. So I think it's really, really cool. That's why I am here. That's why I spread the knowledge, because when I started to play with NativeScript a few months ago, it was mind-blowing for me. So I want to show you the last thing. Where is this? Thank you very much. NG? India. I can hear you. NG?
India!
NG?
India!
NG?
India!
India?
Thank you, Dariusz. Thank you very much. That was a fantastic session.